Sunday morning, Independence Day weekend. Good morning. Look at the crew we have here today. JT Hayes looking all pissed off. Not happy with my Cookie Carrasco take. And DC, whose face I just saw. And it's unfortunate. Good morning, DC. How are you?
Fortunate. Very, very hurtful, Holden.
I said fortunate. I said very fortunate.
Very fortunate. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did not say fortunate.
My hearing is must be going in my.
No, you heard right the first time. What's up, dude? How are you? How are you enjoying this nice, warm Denver Independence Day weekend? We might have a little rain today. I know the Rockies D-backs aren't on the slate. They got an interesting game, though. What's going on, dude?
Not too much. Yeah. Enjoying the holiday weekend. Going to get out for some hiking today after baseball locks. But, for now, we got 2.5 hours until lock. So a lot of baseball to talk about, a lot of bad lineups out there. People, these players won the day off, but no day off for me, Holden and JT. So excited to break it all down. We don't have all the lineups yet, but I'm sure they'll trickle in as the show goes on, and hopefully we'll pick some winners for you guys.
The Yankees are taking the day off. Judge is not playing. JT is like, did you see it? I was like, holy moly, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, it gets ugly.
It's rough. Hello, JT Hayes, Captain America. JT. It's wonderful to see you. What's the shirt today? Can I see the shirt, please? Is there anything on it, or it says mood? What is your mood? Are you cranky? Are you happy?
I'm tired and I'm pissed off because I wish that Uncle Dana would stop putting Israel Adesanya on pay-per-views as the main event. It's like every time I get interested in a card, I'm like, all right. And then I kind of check myself and I say, but the fights that are on pay-per-view are just going to suck. Like the best fights now, it seems, are always on the undercard. Last night, it was like the first fight of the night. And as usual, you can appreciate how great Adesanya is and still not want to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning to fucking watch it. So
I'm a couple hours, earlier in the time zones out here in Colorado, JT, but I actually fell asleep in the 5th round of the fight.
Yeah. It was hard not to fall asleep. I was just like, come on, end this fucking thing so we can close our tab and go home. I got to get up in the morning. Yeah. And, my wife trooped it out. She stayed with us, drove us home. And even she was like a zombie just staring at the screen like, well, what the fuck am I watching? It's just two guys running around in circles. But we're not going to see a lot of running around in circles today, I don't think, DC, because some of these lineups, Monty Harrison and Jonathan Villar projected to be in the Angels lineup. Yankees lineup has 2 catchers and Marwin Gonzalez. Very exciting shit. So we'll see what happens.
I'm looking forward to it too. It's absolutely wonderful. Good morning to the chat. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Let's see what we got. A lot of hair conversation. Richie Smalls. I know I can't call him JT Hayes. It's like I said, it's a process. By the end of football season, I will definitely get rid of calling him the both names.
6 more months.
Yeah. Elvis hair gel play of the day. Have you guys seen Elvis? I heard the new movie is just wonderful. You guys aren't movie guys though, are you? You just, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I like movies, but I'm not going to see the Elvis movie. No,
damn straight, Gator Nation. I am the man. There's no question about it. Mike Carr, wonderful to see you too. And everybody else that is saying nice things this morning. It's just great to see you all. Let's get into this though. We've got, I wouldn't call it like any major weather issues, right? But it's interesting. We got a lot of wind that's kind of blowing in, or not a lot of impact there. Wind blowing straight in Cleveland. It's going to be 80, but 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, looking more like 10 miles an hour now blowing in. So that's kind of a big thing. DC, you seen anything weather-wise right now that we can either take advantage of or fade, or is it just let's get going?
Yeah, nothing too significant. I think that wind in Cleveland may be the most impactful of anything. I think the Rogers Center in Toronto is going to be open, so that usually leads to a little more offense. But no potential postponements or anything like that, or really, super impactful wins or anything. So I think just kind of a good, clean weather slate where we can talk about the players and not the weather.
Oh, no Alejandro Kirk today. That's kind of a bummer. But anyways, that's fine. JT, let's get into the pitchers here, because you and I were talking. You could double barrel some 6K guys and I would feel comfortable. We're both looking at Eric Fetty, which makes me want to puke in my mouth, but He's been better, and he's going up against a Miami lineup that doesn't scare me. You want to stay away from this Baltimore-Minnesota game. Both these pitchers have been decent. And then up top, Charlie Morton, Woodruff. These are the top two guys today. I'm staying away from Pablo Lopez. Soto's starting to get hot now. Talk to me here. The whole pitching card, I guess let's go 8-1 and above on DK here. John Gray and above.
Yeah, so, I mean, just when we were coming on, we were talking about that Yankee lineup, and it kind of vaulted Tristan McKenzie up a little bit for me. Aaron Savali pitched well last night. These teams played a doubleheader yesterday, and we know about McKenzie's strikeout upside. Like I said, two catchers, Marwin Gonzalez, Joey Gallo is at this point right now, the way he's been going, good for a couple of strikeouts at least in this game. So I like him. The Angels lineup is the other lineup that looks like, outside of the top four guys, absolutely a single A lineup. Somebody named Monty Harrison. They picked up Jonathan Villar, who the Cubs actually DFA'd. This Angels team is running pretty bad right now. So Framber Valdez, who's been pretty good. You do have Jordan Montgomery, who's just been terrible. I mean, the weather there is good. The Cleveland lineup against lefties, a 30% strikeout rate over the last 2 weeks. It's just so hard to click his name the way that he's been pitching. Smashed by the A's his last time out, smashed by the Tampa Bay Rays his time out before that. So I think Fetty is in play. I think that Framber Valdez and Tristan McKenzie are probably the two guys I'm going to go to. Brandon Woodruff is on this slate. He's got a matchup that we were targeting a month ago against the Pittsburgh Pirates, but now they have all these lefties, that young kids that came up that are really hitting the ball well. And do I want to pay $9,500 in a matchup where the strikeouts are way down on this Pirates team? I think that's a big question. I'll let DC weigh in on that, because that's the first thing that I noticed is Woodruff is probably, given the names on this slate, going to be one of the most popular pitchers. I don't know that I want to play him today.
DC?
Yeah, I think starting at the top end of pitching, what I was seeing was Woodruff projected over 50% ownership on this slate on a pretty, a big 9-game slate where, there are other ways to go. So anytime that you get, half field plus perhaps playing a pitcher, and there are other decent options, it's not necessarily a thing that I particularly like to invest in, but I do. I mean, he did look really good. He and Charlie Morton, both the two highest priced pitchers on DraftKings, both pitched back on Tuesday. That was the Millie Maker slate on DraftKings. I ended up going with Charlie Morton and Carlos Rodon. Kind of talked about a little bit about Woodruff on that show and ended up being very wrong. Woodruff dominated in his return. He went on the IL with a couple different things. I think he had a lower body injury, and then he had that, I think it's called Raynaud syndrome, where he couldn't feel his fingers. And for me, that was I can't play a guy coming off the IL who, is dealing with a nerve damage thing. But clearly, no ill effects in his return. I don't know, not a doctor, believe it or not, but I don't know if that will come back at any time. But has the highest velocity across the board on all his pitches, highest swinging strike rate that he had all year. So, you almost wonder, was he dealing with something like that? Because his performances prior to going on the IL were not what we had seen from Woodruff last year. So maybe he actually, got healthy during his IL stint, which I guess would make some sense. So I do like Woodruff. Just the ownership is the only thing scaring me off. And then JT did mention this Pirates team is showing some signs of life. They call up some of their prospects, and the prospects are hitting. And it's almost like the guys that were there too, have been almost reinvigorated by a little bit of talent getting on the roster, which makes some sense. These guys are humans. So I do like Woodruff. It's just the ownership. Morton, I think, is interesting. He did not look good in that last start. Managed to, kind of salvage the outing to some extent. He's been all over the place this year. It seems like he's been very hit or miss. It's just whether or not, and JT knows he's a Braves fan, it's just whether or not he has command of that curveball, right? If he has it, he gets tons of swings and misses on it, can strike out 10 plus guys any outing, but hard to trust. Obviously a good hitter's park in Cincinnati. And, but still, I mean, you look at that Reds lineup, I think Morton does have a chance if he's got his command to really give a good performance. It's just impossible to predict from start to start whether or not he will. So a riskier play, but I think a very high upside play. And then Framber Valdez, I'm on board, JT, with Valdez. This Angels lineup has not been hitting. You get beyond those top three in the lineup, Ward, Trout, Ohtani, it falls off a cliff, and that cliff just got a little bit steeper or farther down with the guys that they're going to put in the lineup today. And even like Mike Trout, really hasn't been hitting recently. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know if the Angels lineup's out yet. I haven't seen it if it is. I wouldn't be shocked if Trout or Ohtani got a day off today. If that's true, definitely a further bump to Valdez. And he has just been an absolute machine. I think he's had like all but one of his starts this year have been quality starts, 6+ innings, 3 earned runs or less. Not the highest strikeout guy, but against this lineup, he can definitely get enough strikeouts because he gives you 6-7 innings almost every time out. So yeah, I think Valdez, very interesting. And then cheaper guys. I have no problem with Fetty. I've played him a couple times this year. Generally does all right for 6,500 against Miami. I mean, you can get away with that. And then all the way down, or I guess not quite all the way down, but second to the bottom is Ross Stripling, who DraftKings they just won't raise his price. I don't know exactly why, but still sitting there at 5,300, despite pitching well, pretty well almost every time out. He gets this Tampa team that they got Wander Franco back, which does improve their lineup a little bit, but beyond him, it's just not very many good hitters in there. So I do like spending all the way down on Ross Stripling, maybe going with the Stripling Valdez combo. You can go Stripling Morton if you want a little bit more upside, I think, than Valdez. But yeah, it's definitely some good options, kind of up and down the pricing spectrum. The mid-range, I don't necessarily love. So probably spending up or spending down for me.
JT, you want to go through the rest of the pitchers here? I know McKenzie is definitely up there for you. And then you were looking at Framber, and oh my God, Houston is just like massive favorites today. You rarely see a team under 3.5 runs at -165 price. Like, they're not scoring. So Framber, at least from a betting side, it looks good. Who else can we throw into the pool here, JT?
Yeah, I mean, Houston, a -250 favorite today, and it's a line that I actually think is right. I mean, the way that this Angels team has been playing. The other thing, Mike Trout's talked about the center field eye wall in Houston, and he doesn't like playing there. He doesn't play well there all the time.
It's interesting.
And it's something where he just doesn't see the ball well. So I think DC might be right. You could see some of these Angels guys sit, especially the way they've been scuffling. So that had me more interested in Framber. I'm already very interested. Like I said, I like McKenzie with that Yankee lineup. You got a bunch of strikeouts there, especially towards the bottom of that order. And then talked about Fetty a little bit against Miami, 6,500. Very nice price. I just don't see a lot of teams that I'm going to need to get the savings to go down a Stripling is the issue here. I think there's enough in the teams that I'm looking at where I can get to McKenzie and Framber, or if I wanted to take a risk and have some Morton, then, I think you could do that. You saw that the way that the Reds struck out. Of course, it was Spencer Strider and 100 miles an hour every pitch with just a filthy slider yesterday. Just made these guys look silly. Morton's stuff not as good as Strider's, certainly, but we'll see what happens there. So I think for me, I'm going to start with Framber and McKenzie, and then go elsewhere here and there as I can.
Look at the Astros lineup today, and we'll get to offense here in a second. Altuve, Pena, Jordan, Gurriel, Tucker, Diaz, Dubon, McCormick, Maldonado.
Yeah.
It doesn't look great, does it?
Top 5 looks good.
You look top 5. It's that bottom 4.
I mean, Maldonado hit like 2 home runs yesterday.
Yeah.
So Dubon has always been very good against lefties. So I actually think that's a pretty good lineup. Suarez has been pretty bad.
We've had some bizarre slates recently. Michael Perez of the Pirates hit 3 dongs the other day.
Yeah, that was hurtful.
Maldonado with a couple. That's the worst when it's just some random guys like 1% owned, but like you do have to have them. If like a catcher hits 3 home runs, like some people have them out there. So
absolutely.
So maybe a little bottom of the order. Yeah, a little bottom of the order Astros if you want to stay. We'll get into that. All right, so let me give everybody the spiel. Good morning. It's Independence Day weekend. what do we got? We got 279 watching. We got 85 likes. Just hit the like button. It's really easy. Just do it. All of our subscribers are going to do so as well. After we had a nice talk, we're doing more stuff for them on Fridays too. We heard you. We love you. We're taking care of you. Yes, JT.
I love it.
What do you love? Come on, you're laughing. You explain to me what's going on. What do you love?
I mean, you're right. We had a very serious come to Jesus talk about how they weren't hitting the like button because they were greedy and selfish, and it wasn't helping us. And we saw a slight improvement the next time. Let's see if we can keep that momentum going. Okay,
very good. I'm sure we have things to read to you about too, things that are wonderful about the site. How did things go last night on the MMA side, on the UFC side, DC? You were you're a big part of our coverage there. How'd it go? Besides for falling asleep.
If it was going well, I would not have fallen asleep in the final fight of the night. It started off well. Jalen Turner was my biggest take, and he had a spectacular finish in like 20, 30 seconds, something like that. And then it kind of went a little bit downhill from there. So yeah, wasn't my best card. I'm a big Max Holloway fan, so it was kind of sad to see him get absolutely destroyed by Volkanovski. Man, what a showing from Volkanovski. I wasn't shocked to see that. Just different levels of athleticism between the two. You could see that in the cage, certainly. So yeah, not my best card, but entertaining, at least, until the final fight of the night.
Okay. So basically you were supposed to say, it was amazing, but we don't lie here. We're very transparent.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, right. So I'm trying to sell the site here. And I was assuming you had a great night. Now, here's the other thing. We're very transparent. So these guys do have a great night. And they actually admit when they don't have a great night, as opposed to me, when there's very few great nights. I just have to bloviate on the ones that I have. JT Hayes, excuse me, JT, anything you'd like to add about the site that you just think is wonderful?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll tell you, I had 5 of 5 going into the Strickland fight. So that fight cost because I had Strickland. I had one lineup with Pereira. I only played a handful of lineups. So, but I made a couple of bucks. So it was all right.
All right. Good talk. Like button would be great, and then we'll bring you more juicy things to talk about.
You got to check in before the show, if you want to bring up a topic like that. I mean, JT and I, we're straight shooters. We're not gonna.
Well, I'm glad.
We're not gonna bullshit the people.
Listen, I still would have told you to talk about how you did last night. It doesn't matter. It just so happens that you had an off night last night. That's fine. Things happen. You're not going to hit every single time. I'm getting a potential spam call from New York. Do we know anybody that we work with that's in New York?
I think you should answer it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that because usually they speak Chinese and they're like, yeah, we're going to take all your fucking data and stuff. And then, because I understand Chinese very well. And that's just how it goes. Let's get into the offense, guys.
You're multilingual is what I
Thank you. Si, senor. Fetty Lopez here. We do have some warm weather. I guess that's one thing I can say, DC, about this game. I can also say that Juan Soto is starting to show a pulse. So that was good to see him hit a home run yesterday. It's the first time he did it in 2 weeks. And before that, it's just not been a good season so far, at least for DFS for Juan Soto. Anything from game number 1 today?
Yeah, Soto, is he still hitting 230 or something crazy like that? He'll probably go on a tear the rest of the way, right? Because there's no way he's finishing the season with a batting average like he's got right now. But DFS wise, not a ton of interest here, honestly. We expressed a little bit of interest in Fetty. Of course, Fetty is always a guy. If you want to go with a way off the board stack, you could do worse. John Birdie at the top of the lineup, dude, it's just insane. What's he up to? 30 stolen bases. He didn't even play the first at least month of the season. I think even longer. I mean, he literally steals every single time he gets on base. That is maybe a 1% exaggeration. It is just wild. I've never really seen anyone running as often as him. It's like Ricky Henderson days when they're stealing 100 bases, or Vince Coleman or something crazy. So he does have upside. I mean, if he gets on a couple times, he's going to get you, that's 10 fantasy points just right there. You score a run or two and all of a sudden you're into the teens. So he is interesting. I really haven't been riding the Birdie train, and I don't know if I will today, but I seem to regret it because every time I check my MLB app, it's another stolen base for John Birdie, and those add up quickly. So I think he's an interesting contrarian play. I haven't paid attention to what his ownership has been, but I'm guessing it remains low, JT. I don't think people are really going to play him just because, you got a low, I guess, actually a reasonable total for the Marlins. Maybe they will today. But he's an interesting play from the Marlins. Definitely my favorite play on the Marlins overall. And then the Nationals, Pablo Lopez is not really a guy I typically stack against. Good pitcher, good, not great pitcher, but, he's got good control. Unlikely to get blown up, right? Which is really what you're looking for kind of when you're stacking against the pitcher. So not a ton here for me. I think if I had to lean aside, it would be that Nationals kind of heart of the order, starting with Soto, Bell, Cruz, Luis Garcia, and you could throw in a Keibert Ruiz there too, who's a decent hitting catcher, hitting 6. So I wouldn't hate that, but I do think there are better spots on the slate overall than on this game. So maybe some one-offs, but I doubt I'll end up here for any primary stacks or anything like that.
Yeah, that Nationals Pirates series is kind of fun for offense. We'll see what happens today. Marlins Nationals doesn't really stand out, but I'm sure Soto will have a nice day. JT, Marlins Nats.
Yeah, kind of the same feeling. I mean, only 2 left-handers in the lineup for Miami. That's good for Fetty as well. Historically, his issue has been getting lefties out, and Lopez, it's been really the same thing. So way too many lefties in this lineup for me to consider Pablo Lopez, but just not a ton of interest here in this game. I think DC covered it. You could play a Washington stack or two, but remember that Miami bullpen is deadly. So you're not going to get run throughout the game.
So let me just go right back to you then. We've got Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. We're probably not targeting Woodruff. What about Thompson? Do we want anything from the Milwaukee side? Didn't they just go off for like 19 runs the other night?
Yeah, they've been smashing. They've been hitting the ball well. Zach Thompson's a guy who has been, mediocre would be a compliment as far as his results this season. So I think you can play some of these Brewers bats. I actually like them a little bit here. Not my favorite team, but I'll have some Brewers today.
Who do you like them? Like who stands out to you in the lineup?
Yelich finally looks like he's hitting. Rowdy Tellez is still priced down at 4-1.
Lefties.
You got Wong 3-2 projected to be in the 5 hole. He might be. Yeah, I think they'll keep Yelich in the leadoff spot. So you get Wong there, and then Adames. Adames has just been smashing. So I like those guys. You could run it. You could run it out with Jace or Jonathan Davis or Narvaez. 5-man stack here is in play.
What do you think, DC? You want a little Milwaukee action today?
Yeah, I am interested in them. Thompson, like JT said, not impressive. Is a pitcher to target against. There is good hitting weather, certainly in Pittsburgh. And it does play much better for left-handed bats, left-handed power. You can do some damage in Pittsburgh. It's going out to hitting home runs out to left field for righties. That's the tougher side of it. But most of the guys that you would want to play here do swing from the left side, namely Christian Yelich and Rowdy Tellez, who have been on fire. And yeah, you can throw in a Willie Adames. These guys aren't that expensive. And I haven't seen the Milwaukee lineup yet, if it is out. But that wraparound stack that JT mentioned, I think is interesting. If the projected lineup ends up being the actual lineup, which on Sundays doesn't happen all that often, but if it does, Jace Peterson hitting 8th is 2.6K. He can do damage against righties. You've got Jonathan Davis, who's got some speed, 2.1K at the bottom. And then that Yelich, Adames, Rowdy Tellez, 1, 2, 3. So you can do that 8, 9, 1, 2, 3 stack. Looks pretty good today. And also is relatively inexpensive. You can fit, good pitchers with that. If you wanted to go there, get into that Pirates bullpen early. Their closer had a big blow up the other day. So they're kind of reeling a little bit in terms of the bullpen. And not many people are going to do that, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3 Brewers, but I like it. Yelich was moved to the leadoff spot, I think about a month ago, and has been hitting pretty damn well since they moved him there. Not for a ton of power, but Zach Thompson could potentially help him in that regard. So yeah, I do have quite a bit of interest in the Brewers. And I like a stack where you can get a little bit different, right? Where your favorite version of it is a wraparound, because you're just not going to see many people go in that direction. And Speaking of directions, this show just took a turn for the better with the introduction.
Oh, Tony's the Tone Dog.
I mean, I heard people talking about Jace Peterson.
I knew it.
Righty, and I had to hop on. I mean, I couldn't get on without my boys here. I mean,
I literally just clicked his name in like a Toronto DC. I'm making my Toronto
DC
Milwaukee
baited
thing.
me to come on. He started talking about my boy, a big platoon.
That's it. It's over. Hi, Tony.
What's up, boys?
How'd it go last night? Anything happen? You just sit home?
No, I didn't do very good in the MMA final. I was a little disappointed, but like we always do, we're back on the horse the next day trying to find some winners.
Chase Peterson, he's gonna bring it home for us. It's gonna be wonderful.
I was actually planning on hopping on, but like a donkey, I didn't look at the schedule. I thought it started at noon. It started at 11, and I was like, "Oh, they already got going."
Yeah. It should start at noon.
Pitcher winners.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. And Tony, do you want to add anything? Pitching first 2 games, anything?
I just turned on my computer. First thing I heard was Jace Peterson saw 2.5 sexy men, and then hopped on.
DC, you need to get better looking so we can do a 3. Okay. I mean, I know he was talking to me, but I figured I'd just.
I don't. You don't know who I was talking about.
You do find me attractive. Let's get into Tampa Bay and Toronto. Toronto this offense is remarkable. We mentioned the roof might be open today too. I'll dig into that. Up and down. No Alejandro Kirk though, DC, but Moreno's in there. Springer, Bichette, Vlad, Teoscar. I mean, how popular is Toronto going to be, and does it even matter? Probably not, right?
I mean, I don't think they'll be all that popular. I wasn't really planning to go in that direction. I have a lot of respect for Shane Baz as a pitcher pitching for the Rays today. He's just a pitcher that I almost never going to target against personally, but they do have a reasonable team total sitting at 4.5. They are, arguably I would say a top 3 at the worst offense in baseball. I mentioned the roof's going to be open in the Rogers Center. So they certainly have some things going for them. Again, I doubt I will end up there, but absolutely. I mean, 1 through 9, you can play all these guys. Yeah, they're catcher. We wish our guy Alejandro Kirk was in there, but Gabriel Moreno is an absolute stud in his own right. And he's 2.3K hitting 8. So this is another team where you can get different with your stack if you want to go with Toronto. Of course, you want to get, when I stack Toronto, I want to get most of my guys from the top half, those big bats, guys like Vlad, Teoscar, Springer, Bichette. But you can fill in with Chapman, Moreno, Biggio down at the bottom too. So certainly you can make a case for Toronto. I just, have too much respect for Shane Baz on the slate to end up there myself, but they could absolutely do damage. And then I'm not going to go to the Rays. I just never stack the Rays. They just don't have enough power, but they are picking it up a little bit. Isaac Paredes is just on fire. He's up to like 15 home runs on the year. They did get Wander Franco back. But yeah, like I said, I actually like Ross Stripling a little bit here, mostly because of the price. 5,300 for a good pitcher and a pretty good matchup is about as good as you're going to get at that price point. So not a ton of offense here for me, most likely.
JT, where are you on Toronto today?
Yeah, I mean, they're not my favorite team here. Like DC said, Shane Baz has been pretty good. High strikeout rate there. They could go off any slate. So, in 150, you should have them in your, a couple of stacks there. But DC mentioned it. Isaac Paredes. I mean, I think he's got 8 home runs in his last 15 games. I mean, he's just been out of his mind here, and the price is still reasonable at 4.3. But I don't know if I'm going to have any Rays either. This game seems to me like one that I'm just going to pass over.
Okay. Tony, do I even come to you for this? Do you have any thoughts? Or just keep
like you say that, like I haven't been sitting here looking at it and I can't figure out winners.
You just turned your computer
This
on.
is an NBA. I tell you this every time. All you need is a lineup and some pitcher projections. I don't need to sit here and look at it forever. I hate these guys. Always hate on my Tampa team though. What'd they score yesterday? Like 14?
They went nuts.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Toronto for sure. I'm definitely with DC there. Shane Baz looks good. What did he last game? He had a tough matchup too, didn't he? And he still kind of. What did he finish with? Let me pull it up.
I think that was back on the Millie Maker slate. I think he was.
Solid. 2 slates ago. You're right. Versus the Yankees, I think was that. And he went. I mean, he's been good all the last 3 versus Milwaukee.
He's super legit. He's just not a guy I want to target.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost even play him against this lineup. I know Toronto is good up top, but I still don't love their lineup at the bottom. I mean, Shane Baz is good, so I don't totally hate leaving him in the player pool. I mean, Tampa's good for a mini stack for me still. We got my boy Kiermaier back, 2,300. Paredes, like you guys said, just on fire. It's tough to full stack Tampa right now just because some of these guys you're just not going to want to play. Even like G-Man, I just never really want to play him. Harold Ramirez, I only really play him against lefties. I don't know. You guys are probably right. At least maybe a mini stack, or I could see a little bit there, but not full stacks.
Zach Thompson will start for the Pirates instead of Jose Quintana. Yeah, we already know that. Thank you for throwing that at me.
Is Jace in the lineup?
Huh? We're still waiting on that lineup, aren't we?
Yeah, we actually got the exact 8, 9, 1, 2, 3 we were hoping for. Jace hitting 8th.
Did it come out?
9th, and then that top 3. So yeah, I'm gonna be.
Oh, they're just I love it.
And on some Brewers. Anytime you get the lineup you're hoping for, you gotta roll with it at least a little bit.
Those are I did hear you guys talking about that when I was popping on, and like those are my favorite wraparounds where you got 3 like stud type guys at the top, and then you got just 2 cheapies that you think could maybe do something at the bottom. Those are like my favorite stacks. Milwaukee's been freaking smashing all week too.
Yeah.
Well, Rowdy Tellez action today. Is that what we're looking at?
He just keeps crushing. Like, I don't love him as a player, but again, I say it all the time. Like, if dudes are hot, I don't care who they are.
He seems really, really streaky. You see that sometimes with like the big, like slugging first baseman, right? Where they really only, they're kind of one trick ponies. It's like, are they hitting home runs right now or not? Because if they're not really going to help you in any other way. But when they're seeing it well and they have a good matchup, yeah, I mean, you're going to feel like you got a chance for a home run every time he steps to the plate today. So I really do like that wraparound Brewer stack.
Okay, let's keep going. Like button would be nice. Come on, now Tony's here. I mean, geez, let's pick it up. And 408 watching for a Sunday morning on a holiday weekend. JT, set the number, dude. We're at 151 with 406 watch. I think you should set a big number today, personally.
Yeah, we don't really fuck around with this anymore. I mean, it's a very straight comparison. You get 400 watching, you need 300 likes.
300. That's what I was going to say. Good. Somebody here, Mike says, petition to have JT rock a pair of jorts, shirtless, and play the national anthem on his roof with an electric guitar every morning of the 4th of July. Any interest in that, JT?
Zero.
Yeah, I did it. JT, I almost got rid of it.
That's quite specific.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm thinking about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Very specific request.
Get an eagle in there. I feel like that's a Hulk Hogan thing, but could you do that, JT?
That's a sign of illness when you're asking another man to not only wear jorts but wear them without a shirt. That's
let me say this: if you're going to make such a request of JT, you got to do it on Friday night. When he's got a couple Coors Lights in him, not on Sunday morning when he was up all night watching boring ass Israel Adesanya and he's tired. He's not going to agree to such a request on Sunday.
I already complained about the shitty fucking fights that I stayed up until the middle of the night to watch last night. Now you want me to go and find some jorts? It's just not happening.
You don't have any?
You better not have jorts.
You're the guy of all the people that work here. You're the guy I thought would have jorts.
Jorts?
Yeah. Yes, you.
Really?
It's very hurtful to JT.
Yeah. Who at RPS?
I can see like Kurt wearing some jorts. Kurt's got to rep jorts.
No, I know who the guy most likely to have jorts is.
Who?
Easily Captain. Easily.
I was just gonna say,
really? Captain has the jorts?
Yeah, I could see Captain wearing jorts, actually.
All right.
His size is too small.
Chat, jorts rankings. Who do you think wears jorts here? Number one, I want to chat. Let's go. I
can tell you who's least likely. This guy. There's no way I'm wearing.
You don't wear jorts. What about cargo shorts? You wear cargo shorts?
Not since like 97. In 97, I wore some cargos.
I love the cargo shorts. Man, they're the best.
Captain is like he's a favorite over the entire field of RPS. And we got a few employees over here. This is like Tiger Woods in his heyday at the Memorial when he's like minus 160 to win the whole thing. That's Captain for you on the jorts.
Phallic.
There's got to be a sleeper in there that we're not thinking of. That's got to be a jorts lover. Chat's got to have someone.
Uncle.
Yeah. Damn straight
actually Dunkel wearing some jorts.
Everybody says it's Mangone. I was thinking, I don't
know about Mangone.
If Mangone had
Mangone's not wearing jorts.
Would he roll the bottom up?
Like image conscious. See,
okay.
Dunkel could wear them as like as a joke, but Mangone's not doing that.
Yeah. Simon's with me. If you have kids, younger kids, you have to have cargo shorts. You got to. There's just all the pockets.
You don't have to have freaking cargo.
Yeah, because there's pockets everywhere. You just put them in.
How many pockets do you need? What are you carrying?
Many pockets.
Cargo.
Many pockets.
You're carrying cargo, Big T.
Yeah, you're carrying cargo in your pants, Tony.
I'm curious what you put in them.
All right. If that doesn't get you to 300 likes, I don't know what will. But yes, Mangone is definitely in the lead here. And
I want to talk about what you put in the cargos. Like, how many pockets?
Right?
Like, what?
You got your keys. You got your keys.
Keys.
You got your credit cards, right?
Your wallet. Okay. Keys and wallet.
Do you use a wallet still?
I mean, it's not a wallet. It's like one of the like magic things where you like flip it back and forth and it holds it or whatever.
Like a Velcro thing? I don't
There's
use
no
a wallet.
fucking Velcro on it holding, but it's
in there.
I don't know what those. They're called magic
You need some
wallets.
snacks.
I still use a wallet. I still use a wallet. I have no problem admitting that.
Yeah, snacks. And then I got maybe
snacks like what? You're like carrying like a bag of pretzels around in your cargos.
Yeah, with the little kids, you got to do that. Back in the day when the kid needed to, the kid wore a diaper, you throw a couple diapers in there.
In your cargo shorts? Are you not allowed to bring like a bag to hold all this stuff?
That's the whole thing. You don't need a bag when you have cargo shorts. It's a
walking got just diapers
bag.
And wipes and all that in your cargo.
Oh, it's the bag. The wipes. Oh, they fit very easily. You put them in a plastic bag. You throw them in the other short. You got 8 to 12 pockets. What can you not bring?
Big T. Do you change your kids' diapers? Is that your job?
I did actually change some diapers. Okay. I know a lot of guys don't. I did. I changed some. I didn't like it, but I changed a few. Amber always worked graveyards, so there were some times, unfortunately, where you just don't have anyone else to turn to. You just got to get it done.
Choice. All right.
I put hair gel in my cargo pants. What good would that do me? What good would that do me? 300 likes or all of you die.
Did we get any good selections for the jeans, the jorts?
The what? Yeah, it was Mangone. Mangone run away. That was it. Everybody said Mangone. Yeah.
Did Tony Gonsolin regress the other night? Did anyone ask Stevie Boynton?
Tony Gonsolin was a stud.
Yeah, did he get the regression game yet?
Oh boy. Coop wears jorts and New Balance dad shoes.
Coop's a decent gas, actually. I could see him wearing some jorts.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he is. Yeah. I don't carry an eighth of weed with my kids around, but you know what? If I wear cargo shorts out like I probably will today, yeah, maybe.
Oh, you still wear them. So you weren't talking about the past.
You know who it is? Remember Edwin Encarnacion?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Huge jorts guys. Just conversations nonstop about jorts.
Yeah, people, but if you hit 500-foot bombs, you can wear whatever you want.
No, they'd still make fun of him, and I don't hit 500-foot bombs, and they still make fun of me. That's fine, guys. That's fine. Anybody else here bang porn stars? Let me ask you a question. In jorts?
I do not, actually. So.
Okay, well, there you go. Let's just move on. Got another game to get to. Atlanta, Cincinnati. You know what, Tony? Since you've got so much to chime in about today, what do you think about Atlanta, Cincinnati?
You act like you're going to catch me off guard in baseball. It's not going to happen, Holden.
Let's go. What do you got, Tony?
It's not going to happen there, big guy.
What do you got?
But Luis Castillo against the Braves. I mean, it's not like crazy hot here, but it is pretty humid. And you always have to like this park. And the thing about this slate, there's not a ton of offense you're going to love on it. So I have to have some interest in this game, both directions. I know I think it was last game, maybe 2 games ago, where we were all on Morton, and he was kind of sneaky. I'm pretty sure it was earlier this week, maybe even the Millie slate.
It was a Millie Maker slate. Yeah, we talked about it. Yep.
We liked him, and I watched the whole game, obviously, and man, he just struggled to find the location. They were squeezing him a little bit too. I felt like the umpire was, but still, he was nitpicking the corners. It was super frustrating having him, and I don't know. I don't totally hate going to some Reds even. Obviously, the Braves are going to be in play. Castillo's good, but Braves offense in this park on this slate, you're always going to have some interest in the Braves. At least I am. But I don't totally write off these cheap Reds pieces too against Morton. I mean, the whole offense outside of Pham and India is super cheap, and I like that to go with the Braves. So this is a perfect game stack in Great American Small Park type spot for me.
DC, the Great America Ball Small Park. Is that something you want to target today offensively?
Yeah, I mean, these are two like really talented pitchers, Castillo and Morton. I actually think both guys are in play. We talked about Morton, even Castillo. I mean, when Castillo's on his game, he can rack up strikeouts in a hurry. This Braves team obviously has a ton of power, can do a ton of damage, but a guy like Castillo, you know, at 8,700, I think you'll probably get him sub 5% ownership, and he absolutely has, you know, 8, 9, 10 strikeout upside. So he's a little interesting, but so is the other side. Anytime you're in Great American and it's almost 90 degrees and humid, best home run park in baseball. And, you know, especially the Braves have the guys to do damage. They're super expensive. If you look at the prices, Acuna 6,300, Swanson 6,100. Man, Dansby Swanson, what a year he's having. You got Olsen, Riley, d'Arnaud. If I'm going to the Braves, I'm going with the full stack, right? And you're just hoping Castillo isn't on his game, because if he's not, I mean, these guys have so much power and can do so much damage at low ownership. You're going to have to go cheap pitching to get there, but nobody's going to do it. And we've seen Castillo. We saw it with Morton in his last start. He didn't have it. Could have been much worse for him, Morton. You watched the BigT. I mean, he was lucky to get away.
Oh yeah, he was very lucky.
10 or 12 fantasy points, whatever he ended up with. It could have been a -5 performance. And Castillo, the same thing. I mean, you just don't. You know, pitchers have off days. It just happens to all pitchers. And if it happens here, then the other team has a chance to do a lot of damage, because it's, like we said, the best home run park. So, you know, you don't like to necessarily play both sides, but you can get some cheaper Braves if you want to. I mean, the bottom of that order is fine. William Contreras, Orlando Arcia, Michael Harris, absolute stud for 3,300, hitting ninth. So you could do a wraparound there if you wanted. You know, contrarian options, I think, in this game. But the Braves do have one of the highest totals on the slate, sitting around 4.8 runs right now. Like Big T said, not a lot of offense on the slate in general. So I think this could be one of those spots where you pay up to be contrarian, right? Because nobody's going to do it. But these are some of the highest upside bats on the slate, especially on the Braves side, no question. The Red side, yeah, I think the appeal there is that they're cheap, right? And then obviously the ballpark. So I think if I'm going to either side of this game, I'm probably going the full 5-man stack and hoping that the pitcher just doesn't have it. And then either of these teams could do some damage. But yeah, I mean, two good pitchers, but yeah, a tough place to pitch and a great home run park.
JT,
I got something for the baseball guys, because this is why I like hopping on with you three, because you guys are all obviously, you know, your baseball. So in my head, I always like to, some of these I could be totally wrong. In my head, though, for Castillo, and one of the reasons I think I do good at baseball is these things in my head, whether they're right or wrong. Castillo's always been way better against lefties, actually. Strikes him out because he's got that movement back across the plate. What that really does good. I don't even know what the pitch is called. It shows you how much I know about baseball. But you only got 2 lefties in the Braves lineup. And just because I'm going to lead this into JT because I know how he feels about it, 121 pitches last start, 123 pitches last start for Castillo. And the lefty factor, where I think he's better against lefties, which means 7 righties. So, JT, I kind of led both of those into you.
Yeah, and all these Reds pitchers, significant home road splits. They're just much better away from Great American Ballpark. You look at Castillo's starts this year, all his good starts on the road. 123 pitches last time out. Now, it didn't work with Javier. Of course, Javier was playing.
It did not work for us that night.
No, they were playing the punchless Angels. In
what a performance!
Yeah.
He just flat out owned us.
He
was so high owned too.
Yeah. Well, because you lose the Colt game, and everyone's like, "I'm just going to go right here." But not me.
Not me either.
So, yeah, I think those points are good. Braves disappointed yesterday, so maybe we get them a bit lower owned. They had a lot of chances against Tyler Malley, but they just kept stranding runners, and you could see a little bit lower ownership here because of that in a matchup where really same thing. Pitcher with home road splits, pitcher coming off a huge game, a lot of pitches, and this lineup's just great. And if you get into that Cincinnati bullpen early, That's what you want for your stacks here, is you want 3-4 innings at least against that Cincy bullpen. Then you're talking 10 runs plus.
Okay. Anything else from the next game? Or are you done?
I want someone to say if my theory on him is right or if I'm just an idiot. Is that true at all or no?
He's mostly neutral splits. So
yeah,
your theory is
just
right,
in my head.
His best pitch is his changeup, and that typically does do better against opposite-handed hitters because it does tail away from them. So yeah, I'll give you like 80% credit.
I mean, sometimes these things, I said it, like, it gets me on weird dudes, and even if it like isn't right, it gets me unique to where I don't know. I feel like it's worked out a lot for me against teams like where it's all righties. I feel like he gets hit harder. Again, there's no numbers to back that up, but I just feel like he does way better when there's lefties in there.
I'm gonna have some Braves guys. There's just too much upside from these hitters. Castillo's far from completely infallible, and I don't know. This is just one where when this game starts up and you load it up and you got Acuna, Swanson, and Olsen coming up at like 4% ownership, you're going to feel decent about your chances. It might not work out, but if it does, those guys are going to do huge damage. Balls are going to be flying out in Cincinnati if you can get them up in the air.
You could do full Braves and then the bottom of the Brewers.
Yeah, like that.
That's not bad at all.
JT, we're looking at the Yankees here, taking on Cleveland. Bottom of the order doesn't look too sexy today. Anything? I know you like McKenzie too. So anything from the Cleveland side?
No. I mean, I don't love this game. Jose Ramirez is out of this lineup as well. I will say Montgomery has been absolute shit. So if you wanted to go with one of these guys, one of them is Ahmed Rosario in the lineup. That's a guy that I would be interested in. But yeah, he's hitting second. 5-1. No, I mean, I don't love either side offensively. I like McKenzie. Okay.
DC?
Probably not going to a lot here. I assume Montgomery's going to have some decent ownership. He's still a favorite.
He always
here.
Does.
He always does. I mean, Cleveland with the team total sitting below 3.5, and no Jose Ramirez in the lineup. I mean, this is a pretty bad lineup that Cleveland's throwing out there, to be honest. Not a lot of danger. I'm just not really a Jordan Montgomery guy in general, so I probably will go in a different direction, but I do get that play. I would have been a little bit interested in the Yankees if Aaron Judge was in there, but without him, McKenzie just gives up so many fly balls. But again, the wind could maybe hold some of those in the park a little bit better. Again, like if this was in Yankee Stadium, I would have more interest. So this game mostly going to be a pass for me.
Okay. Tony, you want to give any thoughts on the Yankees Indians or Yankees Guardians? Or are we just done here?
Yeah, I mean, what you guys are saying, the lineups just look rough, though. I wish I could like Cleveland, actually, because I'm not a huge Jordan Montgomery fan either. But, man, you look at this lineup, it's rough today, especially with Rosario, like JT said, 5,100. I mean, it's tough sledding, so I can't go there. And the Yankees, I just have soured on. I know they're a really good team, good pitching, good, just a great team. I mean, I shouldn't even say good, great team. But fantasy-wise, I mean, you look at that lineup, especially today, and I just don't like it. I just can't do it. So, hey, I'm off this.
Okay. Hit the like button. We're looking for 300 today. That'll be good. If you don't, like, a firework will blow up and blow a couple fingers off. So just threatening you there. Probably won't happen, but it's still be nice if you did that. If you haven't already signed up, I highly recommend that you do. And let me make PumaCom happy. Simon, besides for being cargo short wearers, NFL Best Ball, pretty big. We're doing shows here. Simon has shows. Underdog early NFL Best Ball, 10 million Best Ball Mania 3 contest. Use the code RUNPURE. You get new signups up to $100 deposit match. Okay. That's a bonus with the first deposit. So use the code RUNPURE at Underdog. And we are 67 days away from kickoff of the NFL season. And we got 10 more Sundays until kickoff of the NFL season. DC, I'm going to go right back to you here with Texas and the Mets. I'm not a Cookie Carrasco guy these days, but I am a John Gray guy, and I know you are too. Yeah. Is there any reason to go here, though, offensively?
Probably not for me. I mean, I do like John Gray. I played him a lot this season. He's been awesome getting out of Coors Field, going to Texas, improved his slider. we've seen multiple good performances from him in a row. He was back on the Millie Maker slate. A lot of these pitchers pitched on Tuesday. They're back here today. Wish I would have stuck with him because he was fantastic. But man, a tough matchup here against the Mets. One of the few teams today who is rolling out just about the best possible lineup that they can. A lot of lefties in there, low strikeout rates. So I don't think I'll use John Gray today, but not going to use any Mets either. He's been good enough where I'll just kind of avoid that situation altogether. Carrasco is coming off 2 really bad starts, but both of them were against the Astros, right? So 2 starts in a row against Houston where he disappointed, but before that was pretty solid. And this Texas lineup is okay. I mean, you can play the middle of it if you want to. They've been hitting a little bit recently. I do like the Texas side better than the Mets side, but again, I don't think I want to target Carrasco necessarily here. I do think he'll bounce back from those rough outings against Houston, who just seems to have his number back at home here. So yeah, I guess another game that I'm frankly not all that interested in from either side.
Okay. Tony, you want to mess with this game here?
This is my Texas lineup from the Millie night, and I love Texas in this spot. They have a low total, so they're going to be unowned. Carrasco's it's been more than 2 starts. Just looking at how bad he's been, he gives up bombs is what I like lately. I mean, the dude has given up 11, 14, 19 runs the last 4 starts. He's given up 7 bombs the last 4 starts. He's just been getting hit hard, and I love this lineup. I mean, you got the guys up top, obviously, but just like the other night on that slate, I like the bottom a little bit too, especially with Cole Calhoun down in the 6th, my boy Brad Miller in the 8, Hacksaw Jim Duggar in the 9 hole. I love Texas, and no one's going to have them today. So on a slate where you don't have much offense, these are the spots I love to go to because, man, if you hit the one spot that goes off, even more so than other slates, we always like to stack. But if you get a low scoring slate and you get a team like Texas score 12 or something today, you're just going to win every dollar on the site. So I love this lineup. I'm definitely going to be heavy there. The Mets have been just good all year too. I don't love them against John Gray. I agree with what DC said. John Gray's just been good park here for him for the most part. I do like the top of the lineup for fillers, maybe a little bit. Nemo, all the guys up top, actually, 1 through 4. Escobar's been heating up just a little bit. I don't mind him. So you could play Mets mini, but I like Texas a lot.
Okay. JT, you want to go up against Carrasco, or are we just going to move on to the next game?
Yeah, I mean, there's too many left-handed batters in this lineup for me to see Carrasco having any type of success. He's been, as the guys pointed out, 2 really bad starts. And before that, even, he got very lucky in the starts that he did well in. Washington game, the outcome was a decent score for him, but he loaded the bases a couple of times in that game, was very lucky to get out of it with the score he got. So I have some interest here in Texas, and it's great. It's always great when you get to look at a guy that the Mets made a big trade, got Carrasco and Lindor, and it just shits the bed. So love to see it.
So I'm going to come right back.
Dude's nickname, JT? What they said it the other day. What's this Garcia's nickname?
El Bombi.
El Bombi. Yeah, we need some El Bombi in there today.
He actually does much better against right-handed pitchers too, same-handed pitchers. So
you guys laugh about my number. I actually had the chart up, and he murders righties.
yeah, he's a sneaky play against righties all the time.
Angels, Astros, you're not targeting Valdez. You like Valdez, JT. So do we want to send some bats out there against Jose Suarez? What do you think of the Astros bats today?
Yeah, I like them. Again, I know they scored 1 million runs yesterday, but I don't see why they can't do it today. Maldonado, I don't know if it was a 2 home run game, at least 1 home run. I know he had something like 28 points, fantasy points. But Dubon down there at 3.0, even Aledmus Diaz, who we like against lefties, don't really like him against righties. Tucker, you could play Gurriel in the 4 hole, very, very affordable 3.4K against Suarez. I like the Astros here. And DC, I like Valdez, no Angels for me.
DC, any targets here offensively?
Yeah, I actually think I don't love the bottom of the Astros lineup, but they're cheap, so you can mix them in there with the studs. And I do really like the top 5 of this lineup. I think specifically Jordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker are kind of sneaky because they're facing a lefty. People obviously don't love playing left versus left, but I'm seeing, at worst neutral and maybe some reverse splits for Jose Suarez, who's given up a lot of home runs to left-handed hitters. Both Alvarez and Tucker themselves can handle lefties just fine. So yeah, I mean, those guys, 2 of the best hitters in baseball, and I think they maybe go a little bit under the radar. Obviously, Altuve, Pena, Gurriel, you can fill out that top 5. 1 through 5 Astros looks pretty good to me, and certainly near the top of my list. Still no Angels lineup from what I've seen. I got a feeling, though, that they're going to roll out something really, really bad. If they do, frankly, even if they don't, Framber Valdez is close to the top of the list for me. So I like the Astros to win this one handily and put up some numbers.
Tony, you like Houston today?
Yeah, I mean, you have to. On this slate, you just have to. You look around, there's no other offenses that I would consider even close to them as far as just upside. Like, I didn't like Toronto. The Braves, I like the Braves, but Houston's still in a way better spot. I mean, even all the talk about Castillo in the ballpark, Castillo is just way better in that spot than what we're going to see here. So I think Houston's clearly the top spot. I think they will be high owned, but I don't care about that. We can get different in other areas. Love the lineup too, actually. Just really, I love when Brantley's out because I just freaking hate Brantley. So whenever he's out, I naturally like the lineup way more. And I don't know, like the bottom of the lineup looks dusty, like DC said, but they're cheap. And they're kind of guys I don't mind. Back to that wraparound talk, like 2 of the cheap guys with 3 of those studs at the top. That's kind of the roster construction I feel very, very good about. So, yeah, I mean, Diaz has been a guy I've loved in the past. He's been terrible this year. But, I mean, he's still 3,100 against a lefty. I don't know. You can fire him up. Dubon's kind of been bad, too, against lefties. But, again, they're cheap. They make the stack work, and everyone that goes to this team is going to want to play 1 through 5 with these guys because they're all studs. So you pivot Pena to Diaz, you pivot one of those other guys down to either one, Dubon, McCormick, even Maldonado. I'm kind of with JSU on this, where the one guy I never play on these chalkier stacks is the catcher, unless it's like a team with a stud catcher, but I never punt the shitty catcher in my stack, just because I feel like I waste a spot. If Houston goes off, everyone plays them, and I don't know what. I just never play Maldonado in my stack here. But I do love Houston. I do love Framber's clearly the top pitcher for me. 9,100 is way too cheap for him. I mean, if you based it just on slate, like he should be 11K or something on this slate. He's just way, way better than every other pitcher on the slate, in my opinion.
Okay. We got through that one, right? That means we got 2 games left. Here's the deal. I got to get to the bet side here in the next 10 minutes. So if you don't get the 300 likes, we won't give you the stacks. We'll do a quick play of the day, and that's about it. Okay.
Dude in the chat said Brantley wears jorts. Yeah, that's true.
You don't like those opposite field singles, Big T?
Oh, God, I hate Brantley. And he's just been in that 2-hole for this offense for like 10 years. It feels
I never
like.
play him either.
He gets 3 singles every time. Oh, yeah. The only good thing about him being in is people do play him in their stacks, which is nice.
2 games left. You got Devin Smeltzer, who's coming off a couple of really nice starts against Cleveland, going from Minnesota. And then Tyler Wells is a guy who's actually pitched. He's going to give you 5 or 6 innings. He's not a great DFS play because he only strikes out 3 or 4, but I don't know. JT, you told me you didn't want to mess with the offenses in this game. Why?
I didn't say that.
Or with the pitchers, I mean. Why? I mean, so you like the offenses.
First glance, I like. First of all, I haven't looked at ownership, but I have to assume the way the slate sets up that you're going to get Minnesota low owned, which is when you want them. You saw this Friday night, 30% ownership. They scored 2 runs. And then I like the Baltimore side against lefties. I mean, some of these guys, Hayes leading off, Mountcastle, Rushman. I mean, it's just a better team now. They have a lot of these young prospects that are coming up and playing pretty well. So I kind of like offense in this game. I know the pitchers have been good. Wells has been, like 6-7 games in a row where he's gone 5-6 innings and not gotten touched up. I think today might be the day that he gets touched up.
Ooh, DC, your Twins?
Yeah, no Twins lineup yet. So I'm hoping Byron Buxton is in there.
Yeah, I got the lineup. Buxton's out.
Yeah. What's the lineup, T?
I mean, it's basically normal besides that. I mean, Polanco, Arias, Correa, Polanco, Miranda, Kepler, Gordon, Sanchez, Kirilloff, Celestino.
Yeah, I'm in on the Twins. I often am as a Twins fan, but I do like the spot here. Interesting tidbit, at least to me. The Twins, the first team in baseball history to lose 2 games via walk-off and then win 2 games via walk-off, which baseball's been around a long time and a lot of games have been played. So I saw that. That was interesting to me. And I do actually think it's relevant for the slate because, like we said, the Twins have won in walk-off fashion 2 games in a row against the Orioles, both against their previously elite closer, Jorge Lopez. And both those games were very close. So what happened was the Orioles kind of burned through the good arms in their bullpen trying to close out those games. So I think the Orioles closer will be unavailable here. I think their best setup man will be unavailable. And they have a kind of a thin bullpen anyway. So you take those 2 guys out of the equation, and it looks like, 9 innings or 8 innings of good matchups for the Twins. Tyler Wells, actually both these pitchers, I think the 2 lowest strikeout rates of any pitchers on the slate. Tyler Wells sitting around like 5 or 6 strikeouts per 9 innings, really, really low. And he survives on fly balls, one of the lowest ground ball rates too, fly balls being caught. But low strikeouts and fly balls being caught is a dangerous way to survive, right? Because you just an inch off from those balls finding gaps or sailing over the fence, warming target field. And if they get to Wells early, I think they're going to have to ask Wells, even if he doesn't have it, to give them 5 or 6 innings just because of the state of their bullpen. So the Twins could do damage that way. In late game, I think the Twins are going to have good matchups regardless of what happens. So I do really like the Twins' chances. I wish Buxton was in there, but that's all right that he's not. I mean, he's super expensive, right? So anytime you take an expensive player out, Twins have enough bats to replace him with upside. So yeah, the Twins and the Astros, I think the 2 stacks that I like the best, but I have no problem with the Orioles side of this either. Smeltzer, another low K guy. Orioles loaded up with right-hand bats, and they could potentially do a lot of damage here too. So I do think we'll see offense in target field tonight, and I like the Twin side a little bit better, but both sides in play for me here for sure.
Let's see here. We got some news on the Red Sox lineup. Trevor Story and JD Martinez are out today, so good timing, DC. Let's go right to you with the Cubs. And then they're facing Seabold. Is this going to be popular play today?
I'm not sure. I mean, Keegan Thompson, I can't remember who it was that asked me about him, and I talked about him, and then they played against him anyway. I don't think it worked out. Maybe that was Steve. I can't remember. But no, I actually have respect for Thompson. Wind blowing in Wrigley, especially with the watered down Red Sox lineup. I'm not going to go in that direction. Then the Cubs. Yeah, probably not going there either against Seabold. So, yeah, I don't love this game in general.
Tony, you want to chime in on this one? Any interest in the Cubs Red Sox?
No, I mean, I don't like Wrigley games when the wind's blowing in a little. These lineups look bad. I never want to play the Cubs unless it's just a total smash spot. I mean, you look at the lineup, even the guys that have been really hot, I don't know. I don't feel great about in this spot. So
the problem with the Cubs is like they get in these like incredible spots where it's like 90 degrees and the wind's blowing out. So their overall numbers like look okay, but they're all accumulated in just like a couple of games, right? So when you get like a mediocre or bad spot, no thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, it is annoying like how they get so many good spots and you just I hate when I'm tempted to play them because honestly, I like days like this better when I can just not play them and not even really worry about it. Like if that offense goes off, go ahead. I mean, I'm okay losing to that.
JT, you want to mess with the Cubs and Red Sox today?
I like nothing here.
Wow, just nada. Love it.
It's just I don't know.
All right, where are we on the likes? Let me go see this here.
Not enough.
Okay, screw it. Let's give the plays of the days and we'll get out of here. If you can try to get us to 300, we'd love it. If not, no biggie.
I got a question for these guys. Is this Seabold dude? Is he decent at 5K?
I was looking at that. I think this is his second start.
7
first
Ks
start he
in
got
the last
rocked.
one.
Yeah.
He got rocked, but he struck out 7.
That's what I mean. He got
start.
shelled. It was versus Toronto, though, and he still struck out 7 guys. I mean, he's 5K against this Cubs team. Can I use him for a cheapie?
He got 20, I think 19 or 20 swings and misses against the Blue Jays. Like he can't be that bad. I don't know that much about him. His minor league numbers look okay. Yeah, I definitely think you can use him, Big T.
Yeah.
And his projection's not terrible either. His projection's 13 or so. Like he might actually be a good option on this slate to fit some bigger bats.
You're right. So now that I look at it,
that's what caught my eye. I was like, he's kind of projected a little bit versus this Cubs offense we're making fun of.
He's projected to be the best point per dollar play on the slate.
Yeah, I mean,
so you go Framber. I'm locking Framber in. I think that's what I'm doing today.
That combo looks pretty tasty to me. Framber and Seabold. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, man. I'll join you guys on the Framber Seabold train.
Yeah.
I mean, he might end up getting popular because of the projection, but I don't care. 5K, like I wasn't confident in SP2 today, and we hate the Cubs offense. The wind's blowing in a little. We just sold ourselves without realizing we were selling ourselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, boys, let's do it. Let's see where we are in the likes. Now, all right. No stacks today. We'll just do plays of the day. DC, who do you want to roll out there today? And I can't take Jace Peterson because Tony's here, so
I'm not going to take him, so you can take him.
What do you got, DC?
Yeah, I will go back to the Brewers. I'll go big boy Rowdy Tellez. Going to take Zach Thompson deep.
Okay. What do you got, Mr. Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, let's go with Ryan Mountcastle.
Wow, Ryan Mountcastle.
There's nothing I like more than just when a random dude comes off there like that's perfect. Mountcastle. I like it.
Tony, who's your play of the day, dude?
So I'm between should I give a Texas guy? I mean, the best play of the slate for me is for sure Polanco, my boy Polanco against Tyler Wells in that 3-hole. But I mean, that's too easy. So I'll give my other boy, Brad Miller, who literally no one will have in the 8-hole versus Carrasco. Eligible at third and outfield, totally random one-off play. You don't even need to. You could just play him by himself, and you'll be unique with your chalky stacks. Love Brad Miller for the official play.
All right, Eric Fetty's going to get us 18 points at 6.5. So give me some Fetty, and I'll hold my breath.
Oh, you like Fetty? I missed that part of the show.
Yeah,
I like when you get confident about it. You're not usually confident. It's like football when you kept giving those winners each week.
Yeah, well, football.
Fetty Seabold, Astros, Braves. Ooh,
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, see, I can be sold on that.
That tickles me.
We're talking ourselves into the slate a little bit. Could be a good.
Oh boy,
we're just waking up. Remember, fucking Izzy and Asanya put us all to sleep and
you gotta get the brain turning a little bit.
I'm with JT with that, and not just because I did bad. I did do bad in the final, but there was just some boring fights. A lot of those big ones, just nothing happened.
The O'Malley fight was such bullshit.
That pissed me off. That was because I had him on my final team, so right away I'm dead. It's like. That was so freaking. I'll never take that sorry ass dude again.
I was laughing because the dude that quit. I think he quit.
He freaking quit. I don't even care if he couldn't see out of that eye.
He says, "I see only black." It's like, dude, your eye is closed. Of course you see black.
That's what happens when you close your eyelids.
And
you don't even get it. You're gonna lose your respect from all the fans.
All right, you guys do the rest of the show.
Get out of here, Holden. Just go. We're talking MMA here. Go to your bet show. You're trying to rush us along here.
I'm doing the bet side. Goodbye. Come over, Tony. Make sure you check out the winners on the other side here. Joey Work, Uncle Dunkle, do it on the bet side. 10 minutes late. Fucking DC talks too much.
They don't need your ass on there anyways. They're giving winners.
Tony talks too much. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm leaving.
Yeah, you get out of here. We're talking.
Yeah, whatever. Have a good time.
I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? I mean, he's been rushing us for the last 25 minutes anyways, the freaking pick winners. But I don't even remember what we were talking about now.
The fights. The guy that quit. The guy that quit.
What did he have the risk just to fight anyway? Even say he couldn't see out of that eye. Just give him the benefit. Like, why not still fight? What are you losing? You're just going to quit?
I don't understand. You got like the 5 minutes, right? Before officially, at least take the full 5 minutes and see. I mean, you get poked in the eye. That's not, that's something that can feel better in a few minutes. So at least
it was so
time.
Here's the thing. He wasn't doing that bad either.
No, yeah, he could have won the fight. Yeah.
Easily could have. He had more fantasy points than O'Malley. I mean, not that says anything, but it says he was in the fight.
It was a horrible fight. That one was with a horrible inning, but he could have won. I mean, he was
easily.
Yeah.
And then O'Malley's sitting in there shooting fucking jump shots. Like, dude, you didn't do anything. Like, what are you doing in there?
Yeah,
that was painful.
It was an annoying night. We were all pumped for it. It didn't end.
The only guy that did come through for us was your guys' boy. You talked about Mr. Turner. He just starched that dude.
Yeah.
That guy's a stud. But yeah, Simon, you can actually get us out of here now.